Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to set up DNS in Proxmox. So we're going to be using Pi-hole today, which is obviously meant to be run on a Raspberry Pi, but it also works on normal Linux. So we're going to be installing that today on an LXC container. So I'm going to show you how to create one. So if we scroll down to our local volume, or where you store your ISOs, you can see on CT templates I've got a Ubuntu 20.04 image. I've just literally gone to templates, searched for Ubuntu, and then just click download on that at the bottom. Once you got that there, click create CT. Then you can give it a name. I'm going to call it DNS server, or just DNS01. The passwords are going to be the root password, so make it secure. Go to template, select where the template's stored, and then select the template. On disks, select a disk that you want to be installed on. 32 gigs should be fine. You can do less because it won't take much space up at all. On CPU I'm going to do 2, and then 1 gigabyte of RAM. On network, we need a static IP address, so to do this, do command space on Mac, go to terminal, and then do your ping, and then whatever your home subnet is. So if I ping an IP that's already in use, you'll see that it'll get a reply, and it's in less than a millisecond in this case. If I ping an IP that's not in use, we should get a request timeout, which is what we want. So that means that this IP we can use. So I'm going to do 192.168.241/24, with the gateway is 192.168.0.1. DNS we're going to do as local, and then 1.1.1.1. Click confirm and start after created. Then, once it's done that, we can just do a get update and upgrade, which is easy. And then once we've done that, there we go. We can begin to install Pi-hole. So, I'm going on the DNS1 container now, logging in as root. Password is what you set in the installation. Do Control-L to clear the screen. Do apt get update, 2 and apt get upgrade -y. So I'll let that do its thing, and then I'll be back in a moment once it's finished. So you can see it's done. As it says, done full stop. Do Control-L to clear the screen, and then we're going to do install curl, so apt-get install curl -y. All the commands are in the description, so you can copy and paste. Curl shouldn't take long to install, pretty simple. Once it's done, we're going to run the following. So this is going to grab the install script and run it. It's as easy as that, so we press enter. Then it'll just begin installing Pi-hole. So it'll give you a warning saying that it's going to be turned into a network-wide ad blocker. So press OK. OK again. So it's warning us that it needs a static IP. We've already set that, so we can click continue. We can use different types of DNS. I'm just going to use Google's. Then it says it relies on third-party lists. Just click yes. We do want to install the web interface because we don't want to do it through command line, so yes. And then yes again. You can enable query logging, which basically logs internet traffic, which if you don't want people spying on your internet traffic when you're using a computer, you can turn that off, but if you press yes, it's fine. Same with the privacy mode, so you can hide the domains of websites that people are visiting on the network, or you can show anything, which I just don't care, so I'm pressing it continue. Then it's going to start installing. So it could take a few moments, depending on obviously your disk speed, etc. Depends on the overall how quick the install goes. But basically once that's done, it's going to give us a password and stuff, which we're going to change straight away because it's stupid, but you can see it's done. So it's saying go to this IP /admin, and then you can configure it. It's going to give us an admin web page login password. If we press OK, then we're going to go to 192.168.0.241 /admin. It's going to give us a page that says Pi-hole, which means you've set it up right so far. If you click forgot password, just run this. You don't need sudo if you're using a container because we're root already. And then enter a new password, which I'm going to do because it makes it easier than remembering that long password. Then, once you've done that, you can log in. And you can see it looks very blank. So, what we're going to do is go to first, tools, look at the diagnostics, and then see what's happening and stuff like that. So, the local DNS option we can get into effect straight away, which I'll just show you briefly, but this won't allow us to actually do domains with ports. So for example, Proxmox is :8006. For that part we're going to need Nginx proxy manager, which I'll show you in a little while. But basically, if we go to our settings on our device, I'm on a Mac here, go to advanced, DNS, add, and then enter the IP of your Pi-hole, which is 192.168.0.241. And then I recommend you adding Cloudflow's 1.1.1.1, just in case your DNS server goes down. Your clients on your home network can access your the internet still. Click OK and then apply. And then you can see it's already getting queries from 3 active clients. So basically, if we look at our IP address, it's 38. So soon we should get, you can see some 38 here. It's contacting Apple DNS and stuff. And you can blacklist IP addresses and things and domains that it's accessing. But you can see it's already going to Cloudflare and stuff. So it's pretty cool, really. So you can see the query types and the logs will populate. It's because obviously it's not been 24 hours yet. But basically, we'll try and set a DNS query. So we'll do it for Proxmox. So we'll go to DNS records, type in a domain. So I'm going to do proxmox.home.local. Then the IP address for me is 192.168.0.35. Add. Now, because we've not set up Nginx Proxy Manager, I'm going to have to put the port. But if I put https://proxmox.home.local :8006, go to advanced, proceed unsafe, you can see now it's working. So let's go on to actually installing Nginx Proxy Manager. So now we're going to go on to installing Nginx Proxy Manager. So what this will allow us to do, as I said earlier, is allow us to put in domain name without any ports on the end. So obviously Proxmox port 8006, well, when we type that in, soon we'll be able to just have it as proxmox.home.local instead of putting :8006 at the end. So basically, I'm going to go to my network settings on macOS. If you're on Windows, same principle. On macOS it's advanced and DNS, and then just add that DNS server in there. I showed you how to do that earlier in the video, but I just removed it because it wasn't set up properly. So we'll click OK and then apply. Now if we type in proxmox.home.local, you can see it shows, but we want to get rid of that 8006 part. So for that, obviously we need Nginx Proxy Manager. So if we go to create CT again, give it a host name. I'm going to put npm for Nginx Proxy Manager, give it a password and confirm it. On the template, select the template. I'm using Ubuntu 20.04, like on the other for the DNS. This doesn't need a lot of disk space at all, so 16 gig, that'll do. Dual core, 512 mega RAM, again that's fine. set a static IP, so 192.168.0.242. Follow the steps earlier in the video if you want to know how to find out if the IP is used, but set the gateway as your gateway and things. And then on DNS, what we're going to do is do the domain as local, but the DNS server, we can do it as our new DNS server, which is at 241. So now I'm going to confirm start after created, and then we'll just give it a moment to create. And then basically we're just going to install something called Docker to do this part. It's easy enough, it's one command, and then we can create a Docker compose file. So npm starting with a login, we'll be on the actual shell. We go to apt get update and apt get upgrade -y. That'll do a get update and upgrade. Again, depending on your disk speed, your processor speed, internet speed, depends on how long it's going to take. Mine shouldn't take long, but I have installed this on a hard drive, so it could take a long time. So I'll literally pause the video here. So it's done, as you can see there, it says done. So what my common practice is, reboot now is the next command. So that'll just reboot the container, just in case the updates do need a reboot, because some of them do on Linux. So once it's done that, you just log in with the same credentials, and then we're going to run the following command. Again, all the commands are in the description below. So we do apt get install docker.io and then space docker -compose -y. So if you look at that, apt-get install docker.io space docker -compose -y. Press enter. So this will install the containerization platform called Docker, along with a composition tool for Docker to create YAML files, along with that. So we're going to wait for that again. It could take a while, again depending on your hardware. Shouldn't take too long though, as all it's doing is installing some basic containerization software. But once that's done, it's pretty much getting Nginx Proxy Manager installed. Once you've got it installed, you set a password in the web UI, etc., and then that's it. We can start configuring subdomains and things like that. So basically, we'll just wait for this, and then I'll be back once it's finished. So with that done, it's pretty straightforward from here. If we do nano space docker -compose.yaml, it'll open up a nano text editor. Basically, you're just going to get the command from the description below. I'm going to have to get it off screen because obviously I've not made the blog yet. But basically, it's just a simple copy and paste job here. You don't really need to do much about that. So from the description below, you can just copy and paste, which I've got here. You get a file like this, just leave it all at default, Control X, Y, enter, and then do Control L to clear the screen, then do docker -compose space up -d, enter. If it says this here, you have to specify a specified version, so you can literally do 3.3 here. Again, it doesn't matter. And then there we go, it's going to pull the Docker image from the Docker hub, and you can see it's pulling right now. Once it's pulled, it'll deploy the container, and then we can get to actually installing the actual web interface. So you just, not installing, you set it up. So you just type in the credentials, the default ones, and change them, and then we'll go on to actually creating the domains. So I'll wait for this off camera, so won't be long. So you can see it's deployed and created the root_app. That's just the name that it's given Nginx Proxy Manager. Now if we do the command hostname-i with a capital I, you get the IP address, which is 242 that mine ends with. So what I'm going to do is 192.168.0.242. /81. Then in a moment when it starts itself up, we'll get a web interface. So I'll just wait for this, and then I'll be back in a moment. So you can see we're on the login page now. So the username is, or email address in this case, is admin@example.com by default, and the password is change me altogether. Enter, and then just exit of that. Give yourself a full name. So I'll just put Harvey, and then just put the nickname as harvey.js because that's my nickname. Then the email, put in your email, then click save. With the password, put the current password as change me, and then the password is whatever you want to set. Once you've done that, click save, and then we are in the web interface. So we go to hosts, proxy hosts. It's easy enough from here. So we're going to need the Pi-hole web interface up on here as well, so it's /admin. So the login, you can see the things have propagated now, the DNS requests and stuff. So it looks a lot prettier, the interface, and it tells you the YouTube and things that have been blocked and things. Then if we go to local DNS records, you can see that it's pointing directly to my Proxmox IP, which is 192.168.0.35. I want to delete that, add it again, so proxmox.home.local, but point it to the Nginx proxy manager IP address, which is 192.168.0.242. Then if we click add, go back to Nginx proxy manager, click add proxy host, put the domain there again, so proxmox.home.local. Sorry about this. And then the scheme is going to be HTTPS for Proxmox, because if you look, it's got a self-signed certificate. But if you are accessing, for example, Pi-hole that doesn't have an SSL certificate, then you put HTTP. But for Proxmox, HTTPS. Then put the IP address, which is 192.168.0.35 for me, and then the port's 8006, which is obviously the Proxmox port. Then tick all these options, because I like blocking the common exploits. WebSocket supports for Proxmox and stuff to get VNC console working, and then caching just makes it a little bit quicker. Then if we click save, you can see it's there. We can test out the link by just clicking here, and you can see now proxmox.home.local takes us directly to our Proxmox interface without any IP address or port. So let's try it with Pi-hole. So we'll have this as DNS01.home.local, and then the IP is 192.168.0.242. Remembering that every IP in this Pi-hole interface needs to point to our Nginx proxy manager. So if I click add, go back to Nginx proxy manager, add a proxy host, and we'll call it DNS01.home.local. And again, this is HTTP and not HTTPS. You can usually do that by just spamming left and see if HTTPS comes up. If not, you leave it at HTTP, put in the IP address, and then the port, which is 80 for me. Then do all the things that I said and click save. We'll go to dns.home.local /admin. Sorry about this. /admin. You can see there's Pi-hole there. So it's pretty good if you don't want to remember IP addresses. That's usually what it's for. Let's add one for Nginx proxy manager. npm.home.local 192.168.0.242. Remembering that needs to be the Nginx proxy manager IP address, not the IP address of the service that you're trying to add a DNS record for. And then you can obviously go in, type in npm.home.local. The scheme is HTTPS, but obviously If it's not for you, it's put 81 here because that's 81 there. If it's not for you, you can change it. Save. We click that now. Takes us directly to the Proxy Manager login, which is brilliant. You can also, you're not restricted to home.local. So for example, if I do hsve.net.org, for example, just as an example here, and do that associated IP address to my Proxmox host, remembering again that you're setting it to the Nginx Proxy Manager URL. I nearly made a mistake there. And then go here, hsve.net.org, and then add in the associated IP address. And then you can see, if we go to this, it should hopefully just work. Can you see? So you could put this as Microsoft.com if you wanted to, and it'll just take you to this web page. So it's entirely up to you, but hopefully you've enjoyed this video on setting up local DNS on your home network, or you might use this in your workplace if you're a network admin and you want to know how to set it up quickly. But yeah, thanks ever so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, as we're close to 4,000 subscribers. If you need any help with this, please visit the Discord from the link below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.